Let's be honest, frozen casseroles exist because someone, somewhere, decided that the comfort of grandma's home cooking could be mass-produced, flash-frozen, and microwaved back to life. Some succeed brilliantly, delivering bubbling, cheesy perfection that actually tastes like love. Others serve up tragic reminders that some things should never leave the family kitchen. Today we're ranking 12 frozen casseroles, from the absolute disasters that insult the very concept of comfort food to the champions that prove convenience doesn't have to mean compromise and can feed your whole family. Subscribe and let's dig into the truth about frozen comfort food. Green bean casserole became an American Thanksgiving staple in 1955 when Campbell's Soup Company created the recipe using their cream of mushroom soup, French's fried onions, and frozen green beans. This wasn't ancient family tradition. It was corporate marketing genius that somehow became a sacred holiday ritual. The dish exploded in popularity because it solved the vegetable problem at holiday dinners, transforming boring green beans into something kids would actually eat. By the 1970s, no Thanksgiving table was complete without this creamy, crunchy creation that made vegetables feel like indulgence. Marie Callender's version doesn't quite translate from Grandma's casserole. It tastes like someone dissolved green crayons in mushroom-flavored paste, then added enough sodium to preserve it for archaeological study. The green beans have the texture of overcooked rubber bands, while the cream sauce resembles library paste with delusions of dairy content. The mushroom flavor is so synthetic, it burns your sinuses, while the fried onions on top taste like salted sawdust. Multiple Reddit threads describe this as universally terrible, with texture so wrong it makes people question their holiday traditions. What should be creamy comfort becomes a textural nightmare that makes frozen vegetables seem like punishment rather than nourishment. When your holiday side dish tastes like it was designed by people who hate both holidays and vegetables, you've achieved spectacular failure. Vegetable lasagna emerged in the 1970s as health-conscious Americans sought lighter alternatives to traditional meat lasagna. The concept promised all the comfort of classic Italian-American casserole, with the virtue of vegetables, appealing to families trying to eat healthier without sacrificing satisfaction. Michelangelo's positioned their vegetable lasagna as premium frozen Italian, complete with family imagery and promises of authentic recipes. The brand suggested restaurant-quality results that would make vegetarian dining feel indulgent rather than restrictive. Positioning doesn't quite cut it. This lasagna commits every possible sin against both vegetables and pasta, creating a watery mess where overcooked noodles dissolve into mushy vegetable soup. The ricotta layer tastes like salted chalk, while the mozzarella refuses to melt properly, creating rubbery cheese patches throughout. The vegetables, cauliflower, carrots, mushrooms, spinach, broccoli, all taste identical because they've been cooked into flavorless submission. The tomato sauce is so sweet, it resembles pasta-flavored candy, while the overall texture suggests someone liquefied a salad and tried to turn it into Italian food. Taste tests consistently rank this dead last among frozen lasagnas, with reviewers noting that it fails as both vegetable dish and Italian food. When your vegetarian option makes people crave meat just to escape the experience, you've missed the entire point of plant-based cooking. Broccoli casserole became popular in the 1960s as American home cooks discovered that cheese sauce could make any vegetable palatable to reluctant family members. The dish represented the era's faith in processed convenience, when homemade meant opening multiple cans and mixing them together. Marie Callender's markets this as comfort food that brings families together over wholesome vegetables enhanced with rich cheese sauce. The packaging suggests home-style cooking that busy parents can serve with pride, making vegetables feel like treats rather than obligations. The broccoli loses all structural integrity during freezing and reheating, becoming green mush that bears no resemblance to actual vegetables. The cheddar sauce tastes like processed cheese product mixed with flour paste. Coward creating a coating so thick it could be used as wallpaper adhesive. The sodium content exceeds 800 milligrams per serving, more than a third of your daily limit in what's supposed to be a vegetable side dish. The processed cheese creates an oily film that coats your mouth long after eating, while the broccoli flavor disappears entirely under chemical enhancement. This represents everything wrong with American vegetable preparation, taking nutritious produce and processing it until it becomes junk food disguised as health food. When your vegetable casserole contains more chemicals than vegetables, you've defeated the purpose entirely. Chicken and broccoli pasta became a 1980s family dinner staple when busy parents discovered that combining protein, vegetables, and carbohydrates in one dish could satisfy everyone while requiring minimal preparation. The concept promised complete nutrition in convenient casserole format. Stouffer's built their reputation on family-sized frozen entrees that delivered restaurant-quality results at home. Their pasta bakes promised to solve the "what's for dinner" dilemma, with hearty, satisfying meals that pleased both adults and children. The chicken in this pasta bake is so bland and rubbery, it could be mistaken for tofu that's given up on life. The broccoli turns to green mush during heating, while the pasta becomes simultaneously overcooked and undercooked. A culinary achievement that defies physics. The cheese sauce lacks any actual cheese flavor, tasting instead like flour-thickened milk with yellow food coloring. The overall effect is like eating beige paste with green and white chunks, creating a meal so flavorless it makes hospital food seem exciting. Taste tests describe this as acceptable but uninspired, which is damning praise for something that should be comfort food. When your 3-ingredient pasta bake manages to make all 3 ingredients taste like nothing, you've achieved a special kind of culinary failure. Loaded potato casseroles gained popularity in the 1990s as restaurants discovered that combining baked potato toppings with casserole format created indulgent side dishes that felt like complete meals. The concept promised all the satisfaction of loaded baked potatoes in shareable format. Bird's Eye, known primarily for frozen vegetables, expanded into prepared sides to capitalize on busy families' need for convenient accompaniments to simple main dishes. Their loaded concept suggested restaurant-style indulgence at grocery store prices. The potatoes have decent texture when cooked properly, but the loaded toppings are sparse and flavorless. The bacon bits taste like salted cardboard, while the cheese sauce is thin and lacks any sharp cheddar bite that makes loaded potatoes appealing. The portion size is adequate for a side dish, but the flavor is so mild it disappears entirely when served alongside any seasoned main course. The quote-unquote loaded experience becomes a lightly garnished reality that fails to justify even budget pricing. This represents the gap between marketing promises and actual delivery. A product that looks loaded in photos but tastes like plain potatoes with a few sad toppings scattered on top. When your loaded potato bake needs additional loading just to taste like food, the concept has failed. Now we are about to get to the good stuff. Hit that subscribe button because some brands understand that frozen casseroles should deliver the delicious comfort they promise. Mexican-style casseroles emerged in the 1970s as Tex-Mex cuisine gained mainstream popularity, combining traditional Mexican flavors with American casserole convenience. The format made Mexican food accessible to families intimidated by authentic preparation techniques. Walmart's Better Goods line launched in 2019 as their premium store brand, targeting health-conscious consumers seeking quality alternatives at accessible prices. The gluten-free positioning appeals to customers with dietary restrictions who don't want to sacrifice flavor for health needs. Despite being individual-sized rather than family casserole, this punches above its weight with well-balanced flavors that actually taste like Mexican food. The black beans maintain proper texture, while the corn adds sweetness that balances the enchilada sauce's mild heat. The mesa topping provides satisfying textural contrast, creating layers that make each bite interesting rather than monotonous. The gluten-free aspect doesn't compromise flavor, proving that dietary restrictions don't require taste sacrifices when executed properly. Spork's comprehensive taste test praised this as surprisingly good, noting that Walmart should expand this to full family-sized versions. Sometimes the best products come from unexpected sources when companies focus on execution rather than marketing hype. Chicken and rice casseroles became American comfort food staples in the 1960s when home cooks discovered that combining leftover chicken with rice and cream soup created satisfying family meals from simple ingredients. The dish represented practical home cooking that stretched protein into filling dinners. Marie Callender's built their frozen food reputation on home-style cooking that busy families could serve with confidence. Their family-sized portions promise to feed everyone while delivering the comfort food satisfaction that makes dinner feel like home. The chicken is identifiable as actual poultry rather than processed protein, and the rice absorbs the cream sauce evenly without becoming mushy. The cheese provides flavor backbone without overwhelming the other ingredients, creating balanced comfort food that satisfies without being heavy. The portion size genuinely feeds a family of 4, making it practical for busy weeknight dinners when cooking from scratch isn't realistic. The consistency is reliable. Every package delivers the same satisfactory results that build customer loyalty. This represents competent comfort food that doesn't aspire to greatness, but delivers exactly what it promises. Sometimes reliable mediocrity is exactly what busy families need. And Marie Callender's understands that market perfectly. Breaking into the top 5 is Better Goods Cheese Grits Casserole. This type of casserole originated in Southern cuisine, where home cooks discovered that baked grits with cheese and eggs created satisfying side dishes that elevated humble corn grits into company-worthy fare. The dish represented Southern comfort food at its most indulgent. Walmart's Better Goods line surprised the frozen food industry by creating products that competed with premium brands while maintaining accessible pricing. Their Southern-inspired items showed understanding of regional cuisine that many national brands lack. Spork's comprehensive taste test crowned this the best frozen casserole option, praising the creamy grits texture that avoids the gluey consistency that plagues most processed grits. The cheese flavor is genuine and well-balanced, while red pepper flakes add visual interest and subtle heat. The texture is silky and sophisticated, creating a side dish that feels elegant enough for entertaining while remaining approachable for family dinners. The Southern authenticity shines through, proving that regional specialties can survive mass production when companies respect the source cuisine. This represents Walmart's frozen food innovation at its finest, creating products that compete on quality rather than just price. When store brands exceed national brand quality, it proves that good food comes from understanding ingredients rather than marketing budgets. Sweet potato casserole became a Southern Thanksgiving tradition in the early 1900s, though the marshmallow versus praline topping debate continues to divide families. The dish represents the Southern approach to vegetables. If it's not sweet enough to be dessert, add more sugar until it is. Aldi's seasonal offerings have developed cult followings among customers who plan their holiday shopping around limited-time availability. Their sweet potato casserole appears briefly each fall, creating urgency that drives devoted customers to stock up. The sweet potatoes are genuinely creamy and buttery, without being cloyingly sweet, while the praline topping maintains crunchiness even after microwave reheating. The balance between sweet potato earthiness and praline richness creates sophisticated flavor that works as either a side dish or dessert. The seasonal availability creates anticipation that makes this feel special rather than routine, while the quality justifies the excitement. Customer reviews consistently praise this as better than homemade, which is remarkable praise for frozen food. This proves that limited availability can enhance perceived value when the product quality justifies the excitement. Sometimes scarcity marketing works because the product actually deserves the attention it receives. Baked ziti emerged in Italian-American cuisine as home cooks adapted traditional pasta al forno for American ingredients and tastes. The dish became popular in the 1960s as families discovered that pasta, sauce, and cheese could create satisfying dinners that pleased everyone. Stauffer's family-sized entrees built their reputation on delivering restaurant-quality Italian-American food that busy families could serve with confidence. Their baked ziti promised authentic flavors in convenient frozen format. The tomato sauce achieves perfect balance between acidity and sweetness, while the pasta maintains proper texture without becoming mushy. The cheese coverage is generous without being greasy, creating the satisfying cheese pulls that make baked pasta irresistible. The meat sauce contains identifiable ground beef that adds substance without overwhelming the pasta, while the portion size genuinely feeds a family. The consistency across packages builds trust that every dinner will meet expectations. This represents Italian-American comfort food executed properly, proving that frozen pasta can succeed when companies understand the cuisine they're representing. Sometimes the classics work because they've been perfected through generations of home cooking. Macaroni and cheese became American comfort food royalty in the 1930s when Kraft introduced boxed mac and cheese during the Depression. The dish represented affordable luxury that made families feel indulged even during hard times. Amy's Kitchen built their reputation on organic, vegetarian, frozen foods that didn't sacrifice flavor for health consciousness. Their gluten-free options proved that dietary restrictions don't require taste compromises when companies prioritize quality ingredients. The cheese blend creates an authentic flavor that rivals traditional mac and cheese, while the gluten-free pasta maintains proper texture without the mushiness that plagues many alternative grain products. The ingredient list is refreshingly short and recognizable. The organic dairy creates richness that processed cheese products can't match, while the careful preparation ensures consistent results that build customer loyalty. This succeeds as both gluten-free option and excellent mac and cheese regardless of dietary needs. Amy's proves that inclusive cooking means creating food so good that everyone wants it, not just people with dietary restrictions. When your gluten-free mac and cheese converts traditional mac and cheese lovers, you've achieved something special. Spinach and cheese lasagna represents Italian comfort food at its most elegant, combining creamy ricotta with nutritious spinach and layers of pasta and sauce. The dish became popular in American Italian restaurants as a sophisticated alternative to meat lasagna. Trader Joe's built their frozen food reputation on unique products that delivered quality comparable to fresh-made alternatives. Their lasagna promised restaurant-quality results that would make home cooks feel accomplished without the time investment. The spinach is visible and flavorful rather than hidden in processed filling, while the ricotta layer is creamy and properly seasoned. The pasta maintains integrity without becoming mushy, creating proper lasagna structure that holds together when served. The sauce has genuine tomato flavor with herb complexity that suggests actual Italian cooking rather than industrial production. The cheese melts properly, creating satisfying pulls that make each bite feel indulgent. Food reviewers consistently rank this among the best frozen lasagnas available, often comparing it favorably to restaurant versions. The quality justifies the premium pricing, while remaining accessible to families seeking special dinner options. Trader Joe's proves that frozen food can achieve excellence when companies prioritize ingredient quality and proper preparation over cost-cutting and mass production efficiency. The frozen casserole aisle represents the eternal struggle between convenience and quality, between the comfort we crave and the shortcuts we accept. The worst offenders exploit our desire for easy comfort food by selling us processed mediocrity that insults both our taste buds and our memories of real home cooking. The champions prove that frozen doesn't have to mean flavorless when companies respect the dishes they're recreating and the customers buying them. Choose the brands that understand comfort food comes from quality ingredients, not just marketing promises. Your family dinners deserve better than microwaved regret. Demand actual comfort and reward the companies delivering it. Hit subscribe for more freezer aisle truth and drop a comment about your worst frozen casserole experience. Until next time, keep your standards high and your comfort food actually comforting.